Boys, girls, babes, welcome back, baby, to the Jenaya Talks Caps podcast. Man, I am in a great mood today. Whatever could that be from? I wonder, could it possibly be a result of a 3-1 series lead? Come on, I know you're all smiling too, unless, of course, you are a Habs fan who is watching this as a masochist. And by the way, you will notice that I said watching this, and that is because, my fine listeners, if you are listening to this on an audio-only platform, okay, you should be made aware that we do offer the podcast in video form now as well. That is relatively new, like for the last few episodes here, I believe 5 or 6 episodes now. So if you choose to consume it that way, totally up to you, obviously. But yeah, you can do whatever you want, of course. You can continue listening to the audio-only version if that is what suits you. I am never going to take that away from you guys, but I am just throwing it out there that there is a video version that is available now as well, if you would prefer that. Like I said, totally up to you. And so that is available for those who don't know over on YouTube. You can just search up the YouTube channel. It is under the same name, Jenaya Talks Caps. And yeah, babes, like, I just wanted to get that little bit of housekeeping out of the way, but it is hard to contain my excitement here, frankly. We have obviously got a lot to talk about today. Our Washington Capitals, like I mentioned, have a 3-1 series lead over the Montreal Canadiens, and it has been kind of a wild ride how we have gotten to that 3-1 series lead, right? So I cannot wait to dive into it all here today with all of you guys. Just so excited, really, to get going here. And yeah, like I said, they are now just one win away from the second round, which, as we all know, they have not reached the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs since they won the Stanley Cup in 2018. So it is a very exciting time to be a Capitals fan right now. People are excited about what this team is and what they can possibly achieve. So let's get into it, babes. We have got a lot to talk about today, like I said. And man, like, this is just the best time of year, isn't it? Like, seriously, like, the weather is getting nice, the sun is shining, but it's not too hot yet. Like, we're not melting yet. Flowers are blooming. The Caps are in the postseason. The Penguins are not. The Rangers are not, right? Like, it really is just a lovely, lovely, lovely time of year. And yeah, I mean, game number 1, right? I haven't spoken to you guys on the podcast here since we did our playoff preview. So game number 1, our captain, Alexander Ovechkin, he plays the hero, as he so often does for us, right? And I'm not going to go too in depth with the specifics of each individual game here, as that is what I have the post-game reaction videos for. And if you guys haven't seen those yet, a little bit of a self-plug here, but yeah, if you guys haven't seen those yet, then I do encourage you to check them out as well, because if you do like this podcast, then you will probably like those post-game reaction videos too. So you can find those over on the YouTube channel as well. If you were interested, no pressure whatsoever. But yeah, game 1, Alex Ovechkin is the hero, scores the game-winning goal in overtime after he also scored during regulation, and he had the primary assist on Anthony Beauvillier's goal as well. So we win 3-2 in overtime, and Ovi scores 2 of the 3 goals himself and then adds a primary assist on the only other remaining goal. So safe to say, he was pretty freaking massive in this game and in his Caps getting the victory. He was absolutely trucking people all night too. Like, he had a game-high 8 hits, and many of them were of the bone-crushing variety. So just a phenomenal game by the captain to open up the playoffs for the Caps, setting the tone right from the puck drop on the postseason. And Dylan Strome had 3 assists in that game as well. So he was also in on all 3 goals for the Washington Capitals. So a clutch performance by him too, getting his Caps off and rolling on the right foot in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And then game number 2, 3-1 win for the Caps to go up 2-0 in the series. Connor McMichael scores 2 goals. What a game by him. Dylan Strome scores the other goal for the Caps. And how fucking phenomenal was Caps netminder Logan Thompson in this game and in game number 1 as well. Game 1, he stops 33 of 35 Montreal Canadiens shots. Game 2, he stops 25 of 26, and several of those saves were 10 bellers in the third period when it was a 2-1 hockey game, holding the lead for his Caps. So just an unbelievable performance by him. He had the Caps fans chanting his name inside of Capital One Arena. And then game number 3, babes, it was obviously a hot mess for the Caps as the series shifted to Montreal. They did not play well in this one. In fact, I thought it was one of their worst games of the entire season so far. And hopefully that will be the worst one that we do see. But yeah, just a terrible game. And I'll get into more of some of the shenanigans that went on in just a moment here. But yeah, a terrible, terrible game by the Caps overall. There's really no way of sugarcoating that one. And then in game number 4, the always pivotal game number 4 in a playoff series, right? The Caps completely redeemed themselves with a very strong performance at 5-on-5. We can talk about the special teams later because they were ugly. But yeah, a dominant 5-on-5 performance gets them the victory in game number 4 in Montreal. They score 4 unanswered goals in the third period to secure the 5-2 win. And because of that, they now come back home to Washington with a 3-1 series lead and a chance to close this thing out in 5 games. So, I mean, so much to talk about here, frankly. But I mean, I think we have to lead with the biggest story here, right? Don't bury the lead, as they always say. And the biggest story in this series right now, for sure, is Tom Wilson, right? Like, it just is. I mean, what else can we really say about this guy? He is a game changer. He is a series changer. And he makes this hit on Montreal defenseman Alexander Carrier, which, like, if the Caps do go on to win this series, every single person is going to point to this hit as the turning point of the series. The TSN turning point for my fellow Canadians out there. And, you know, if they do go on to win the series, like I said, it will be the turning point of this series. As the Caps, they are down 2-1 in the third period at this point in game 4. They had lost the previous game, obviously, in ugly, ugly fashion. And now here they are, down 2-1 again in the third period, less than 20 minutes away from having pissed away their 2-0 series lead if they cannot find a tying goal here in Montreal. And so what does Tom Wilson do? Well, he absolutely trucks Alexander Carrier with a beautiful, clean hit. And Mr. Carrier had absolutely no idea where he was after this hit. Like, he did not even know which province he was in as he was trying to skate his way over to the Montreal bench after this. Seriously, he did not have a fucking clue where he was. And as he is busy over there getting to the bench, trying to remember what his middle name is, the Caps are going down the other way and scoring to tie the game. Brandon Duhaime, what a huge goal by him. Figured that he might have a few huge ones up his sleeve here during a playoff run for the Washington Capitals. And he makes a great move to get around the one remaining Montreal defender. I believe it was Mike Matheson. He gets around him with a nice move. He puts the puck on net. It ends up in the back of the net. Tie ball game for the Caps. So that hit by Tom Wilson, it completely changed that game, and it has potentially completely changed this series here. We will obviously see going forward what happens, but certainly it has put the Caps in a good spot. Like I said, they were down by a goal. It's the third period. They didn't really have much going on. They're about to maybe end up in a tied series, 2 games apiece, after having a 2-0 series lead after 2 games. So it would not have been good vibes at all, man. Especially after that series in 2010 with Montreal. Would have been bad vibes for sure. But instead, Tom Wilson, he lays the boom. His Capitals teammates respond, and it just completely changes the game. They tie it up immediately, like I said. They score again to take the lead late in the third period. They tack on another couple of goals just to rub some more salt in the wound for Montreal. 5-2 finish after being down 2-1 and really not having anything at all going on before that hit. So massive third period comeback. And speaking of Tom Wilson, by the way, he scored the last goal in that game too, much to the delight of the Habs fans in Montreal. And Willie, in typical Willie fashion, he is giving it right back to the fans after he scores that one too. So you love to see that. He's letting them know, right? Like, he is not going to let them forget about it. His Capitals win. And like I said, they take a 3-1 series lead back home with them to Washington. And they are now in a great position to hopefully win this series, in large part thanks to that bone-crushing hit by Tom Wilson. And yeah, I mean, he has the bench brawl with Josh Anderson in Game 3. Literally bench brawl, by the way. Like, they were literally brawling on the bench. He slams Josh Anderson to the ground there, and he's laughing about it afterwards, making a mockery of Josh Anderson once again. We've seen that several times before. And then he gives us the gift of one of the greatest memes, the greatest GIFs of all time, really, when he's telling Uri Slafkovsky essentially to go cry to mommy. And in case you missed it, the reason that Tom Wilson was doing that at Uri Slafkovsky is because Slafkovsky was practically in literal tears in his post-game interview with Habs media after the Habs loss in Game 2. So Tom Wilson, he obviously saw that interview and he obviously thought it was very, very amusing. And so he decides to let Uri Slafkovsky know about it. So just an all-time troll job by Tom Wilson yet again, who is so very good at that. He is so very good at a lot of things, but certainly the chirping is definitely one of them. He is an all-time chirper, that is for sure. And yeah, that mock crying GIF is going to live on forever, like from now until the end of time. I mean, it's funny to me that like, when you think about all-timer Tom Wilson GIFs, obviously this crying one now is going to be one of them. The other one is the "you're doing great, babe," right? Like, that's the other one. And it strikes me as hilarious that GIF as well was also created in response to Josh Anderson. Like, that was also during an altercation with Josh Anderson. You remember the Caps were playing against the Montreal Canadiens, and Tom Wilson had just gotten into it with Josh Anderson, and he goaded Josh Anderson into taking a penalty, a stupid penalty, and then Wilson on the bench, he's like, "You're doing great," right? So all-timer GIF there, and this was another one here, the mock crying at Uri Slafkovsky. So Tom Wilson, man, he's the gift that just keeps on giving. And then speaking of other guys who have been impactful in this series, Dylan Strome, man, holy cow. 2 goals, 5 assists, 7 points through 4 games in this series. So he's basically 2 points per game almost in this series so far. Alex Ovechkin, 3 goals, 4 points through 4 games. Anthony Beauvillier, Bovey, as we are affectionately calling him now, Bovey, Bovechkin, right? 5 points already through 4 games. He has been unbelievable, filling in on that top line for the still injured Alexei Protas. Connor McMichael, kid's got 3 goals already through 4 games. He shares the team lead in that category with none other than captain and greatest goal scorer of all time, Alex Ovechkin. He has also added an assist to make it 4 points through 4 playoff games for Connor McMichael as well. Logan Thompson, baby. Wow. He has been unbelievable. And we haven't even talked yet about the fact that it looked for a minute there like his season was literally over due to what appeared to be a devastating injury. Man, did that look bad in Game 3 for Logan Thompson. He was really struggling to get off the ice after Dylan Strome just bowls him over on the back check accidentally, obviously, by Dylan Strome. But yeah, he really, really ran him over. And it looked like it could be so many different things. Like, it looked like it could be possibly a knee injury. It looked like it could be definitely a head injury. Neck, maybe. Like, it just, there were so many possibilities. And yeah, he was really struggling to get off the ice there. It did not look good at all. Most people thought that he was probably going to be done, if not just for this series, for the entire playoffs, it looked like. But he comes back from the dead, right? Like literally rises from the ashes like a phoenix, and leads the Caps out of the tunnel and onto the ice for Game 4. And then again, he gets the win in that game. So what an unbelievable story this guy is becoming. I mean, he's been an unbelievable story all season long, frankly, but he is just continuing to add even more to the lore now with his performance in these playoffs. So what a guy. What a goaltender. I loved his slip up in his post-game press conference too, humbly saying that, he was glad things went his way tonight and that the team, quote, got the 2 points, to which Dylan Strome whispered to him, it's playoffs, bud. There is no 2 points. Absolutely hilarious. So, that was a really great exchange between those two. But yeah, a number of guys just have been having huge performances, clutch performances so far in these playoffs for the Caps. Although one area that has not been clutch, like at all, and I'm sorry to have to do this. I'm sorry that we have to talk about it. But that is their special teams in these playoffs so far. I say so far because I do hope that it can turn around here for them. But yeah, I mean, like their power play is 14th out of 16 playoff teams with an effectiveness of only 10%. And actually the only power play goal that they have scored in the series came all the way back in game number 1. Alex Ovechkin opened the series with that power play goal snipe from the left side. But the power play has gotten nothing since then, no goals. And meanwhile, they are absolutely bleeding goals to Montreal's power play unit. And as a result, their penalty kill also has a very ugly ranking currently amongst the teams in the Stanley Cup playoffs. 15th out of 16 teams in the playoffs. The only reason that they are not 16th is because the Edmonton Oilers penalty killing unit exists. So that is not great. But if there's any consolation, you know what? It would certainly be that they have still found a way to win 3 out of the 4 games in this series so far, even with their special teams being so completely, I don't know how to say it nicely, terrible. They suck. But yeah, I mean, like they are doing it. They are getting these victories overwhelmingly strong play at 5 versus 5, right? That's what it has been for them. Overwhelmingly strong, like I said, at even strength. So that is very encouraging. That their 5-on-5 play has been so strong that it has been able to make up for the clown show that they are putting on special teams so far in this series. And you know what? I will say this about the penalty kill, okay, just to be fair to them, because I want to be fair. So just to be fair to them, I will say that they are absolutely in a very tough spot right now on the penalty kill personnel-wise, missing both Martin Fehervary and Alexei Protas. Like that is tough. It really is. So, those are 2 of your top penalty killers who you relied on all season long on the PK. Marty Fehervary, I believe, finished the season top 5 or maybe top 6 in the entire National Hockey League in shorthanded ice time. So he is really relied upon heavily out there for killing penalties. Great shot blocker, obviously, Marty Fehervary, and they don't have him right now. And obviously we know now that they won't have him for the remainder of this season. We unfortunately won't see Marty now until next season, done for the year with that knee surgery. So that is a huge blow. And then, you add to that the fact that you are also still missing Alexei Protas, who is also one of the top penalty killing players in the entire National Hockey League and scores a ton of shorthanded goals as well. And yeah, man, like it's tough out there, right? Like when you take those 2 guys out, that's a huge hole. Like, you're in tough. But so, like, I don't want to be too hard on them for that reason, but at the same time, like, they have got to find a way to be better. At least to be better than the 61.5% effectiveness that they have had so far, because that is just not going to cut it if you move on to the next round, or even as you were hoping to close out Montreal here in this series. Like, 61.5% on the penalty kill is not going to cut it. So yeah, I mean, special teams bad, 5-on-5 play good. That's pretty much the gist of it, right? Like, the 5-on-5 play has been excellent, though. If we're being honest, it really has. Like, so as bad as the special teams have been, the 5-on-5 play has made up for it for sure. So I hope that they can, I foresee them keeping it up as far as the 5-on-5 play, but I hope that they can add a little bit of competency on the special teams to that, because I just think, if you do end up beating the Montreal Canadiens, if you do end up going deeper into the playoffs, you're going to run into some teams that, like, you're going to need the special teams to be better than they have been in order to have a fighting chance, right? Like, you're going to run into some really good teams here the further and further that you go into the playoffs. So got to pick it up on special teams. No question about that. But yeah, the 5-on-5 play, like I said, has been excellent, actually, if we're being honest. So that's a positive. I mean, the Caps, like, I'm just looking at it here now, like, the Caps are out-chancing the Montreal Canadiens right now through 4 games. They are leading them in this series in high-danger scoring chances by a whopping 33-18. 33-18. That is asinine. That is insane. That is complete domination at 5-on-5 by the Caps. And so they just need to find a way to have that same killer instinct on the power play. And then they'll be golden, right? Because they're generating a ton at 5-on-5 and not giving up much at 5-on-5. So yeah, just add that same killer instinct to the power play, and I feel like we'll be in really good shape. All right, babes. That is going to be it for this episode here today. Just checking the time here. I am going to call it here. Obviously, I've also got a couple of post-game reaction videos to catch up on as well. And I am still recovering from being sick, losing my voice. I don't know if you guys can hear it still. I can feel it still, definitely. And so, yeah, I don't want to overdo it too much and lose my voice again. But I hope to be making another podcast episode in a few days anyway, hopefully previewing the Capitals' next series against the Carolina Hurricanes potentially. But we will see what happens, right? Because even up 3-1, you can never count your chickens before they hatch in this league, and certainly not in the Stanley Cup playoffs where literally anything can happen. So we will wait patiently to see how this all unfolds. But yeah, that is going to be it for this one. And hopefully in a few days' time, like I said, we will reconvene to talk about the Caps' chances in the second round. I hope. Fingers crossed. And hey, maybe hopefully a penalty kill unit that has Alexei Protas back on it as well. He is getting closer to returning. We know that now as well. He has been skating. He has been practicing. He has been taking contact in practice. He seems like he is getting really, really, really close, and for sure seems like he could be a distinct possibility for game number 5 in DC. So yeah, we hope for that. But until then, babes, thank you all so much for being here. It has been an absolute pleasure as always. Please do not forget to subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already done so. If you are enjoying your time here, we really, really, really appreciate it. You clicking on that subscribe button, sharing it with your friends, your family, your fellow Caps fans, your fellow hockey fans in general. I really appreciate it. Crazy, crazy numbers that we got on our last podcast episode, by the way, our series preview for this series against the Montreal Canadiens. Wild numbers on that one. And so, I have to thank you guys for that so much. I appreciate that so much. And yeah, I mean, I don't mind putting the work in at all to make this content for you guys, given that you guys seem to be enjoying it. I'm having fun. I'm having a blast, actually. So I do not mind at all. We are all in this together, babes. Let's close this thing out in 5 games, please. Let's get it done. And until next time, and as always, let's go, Caps, baby.